Your nose. This is the bracket for the KoPW 5. It is the 5th annual King of Pro Wrestling Tournament. I think this is the biggest one we've ever done. This is 256 wrestlers for 2K25. This begins this Saturday, and it will end whenever it decides to end. We could be looking at a 12 night, a 30 night. We don't know how it's going to go. It depends how many matches that we want to record per night. Ladies and gentlemen, look at the bracket here. In the very first match, Rosie and Akira Tozawa. We got Roxanne versus Chosen. We got Jake the Snake versus Lyra Valkyria. We got the Masked Dirty Dom versus Macho Man. Let's look down here. Let's see what other match we got. We got Diesel versus Chelsea Green. Umaga versus Super Cena. Dream match between Triple H and Gunther. We got the Final Boss versus The Fiend. We got Omos versus Razor Ramon. We got LA Knight versus Islander Tama. We got Six versus Akam. Jada Parker versus China. That's probably going to burn the house down. I'm not even going to lie.
Wow.
Booker T versus Harley Race.
Booker T versus Harley Race.
Ken Shamrock, Rey Mysterio. Kurt Angle, Cole Quinn. If you follow 2K, you know who Cole Quinn is. Johnny Gargano, Sheamus. What?
Mr. Perfect versus Carmelo Hayes.
Mr. Perfect, Carmelo Hayes. Andre the Giant versus Whoop That Trick Williams. And yes, you do see women versus men because in 2K25 they said, hey, let's go ahead and open that forbidden door. El Ordinario takes on Kevin Nash. Let's remember that Kevin Nash is last year's KoPW winner. He's trying to go back-to-back. AJ Styles versus superstar Billy Graham. William Regal versus Seth Rollins. I feel like I've seen this somewhere. Demon King Finn Balor versus Terry Funk. Yoko
Liv
versus
Morgan
JBL.
versus Lex Luger.
That's sexy
I love
Lexi.
it.
Dude Love versus Stephanie McMahon. Karrion versus Tony D'Angelo. It's an NXT match right there. Bray Wyatt versus Becky Lynch. Otis versus Umberto. Roddy Piper versus JD McDonough. I don't call him JD McBobblehead anymore. John Cena versus the American Badass Under. That's probably the best match in the first round. Well, I don't know. Jimmy versus Shawn Michaels right there could be really good. Rick Rude, Bubba Ray. Trish and Andrade. So we look at the field. You've seen the people that are going to be in the game. 256 wrestlers. We have, I'll tell you how many matches there will be. In the first round, there will be 128 matches. So let's look at the full bracket here. Can I full screen it? I can. There will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can't go over anymore. Full screen lied to me. I see 6 rounds out the gate. I don't know how many more rounds there will be, but I know there's 6 rounds right now.
I'm telling you, the match that I'm looking forward to is Yokozuna versus JBL.
Tommaso Ciampa versus your tribal chief, Roman Reigns.
Angaloa versus Piper Niven. That's funny.
Tongaloa versus I guarantee I'm taking Piper to win that one. Where's Lexus King at? Where did he fall in this? Where did he fall in this beautiful? Because I know you're here, Alexis. Where are you? Oh, he fights Haku. What a tough draw. What a tough
Wow.
draw for the first round.
That's terrible. I don't even know who Lexus King is.
That's Pillman Jr.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then you got Brutus versus Angel from it's LWO versus American Made right there. The Miz, Nathan Frazier, Ethan Page, and Cactus Jack. This is I'm really excited about this tournament.
Bailey versus Shotzi.
What is it? Oh, Bailey versus Shotzi, yeah. DDP and Tyler Breeze. Kyrie Sane takes on R-Truth. R-Truth is going to forget what he's doing in this match.
Yeah.
Molly Holly versus Drew McIntyre.
Rhea versus Javon Evans.
Yeah, Rhea Ripley versus Javon Evans. That is a guaranteed barn burner, by the way.
Chris Sabin versus Bruno Sammartino.
That match might be match of the decade. Sabin versus
Finn Balor,
Sammartino.
Demon King versus Terry Funk.
That match is going to be absolutely insane. Now remember, like this show, this tournament kicks off Saturday. We are not doing the whole first round in one night. That will not be happening. But it will be kicking off Saturday night after I decide that I'm done playing the game and I want to watch the game for a little bit. We'll be calling some matches. This is probably going to be a couple weeks show, and I'm kind of excited about it because the winner of this becomes the World Heavyweight Champion. Just the World Heavyweight Champion. It is the KoPW. It is the King of Pro Wrestling tournament. And this is not counting DLC people. Now, as you guys know, we come back when we have a DLC. We do a DLC tournament. The winner of that fights the world champion at the next pay-per-view. But regardless, that's a few miles down the road if the DLC is worth it. So, in the comment section, comment below who you think is going to win. Comment below if you guys are excited about 2K. Liana, you got any thoughts about 2K25 coming out?
I'm excited about it. I just bought 2K24, so I'm just getting my feet wet in the 2K thing. So I'm looking forward to playing 2K25. I think there's a lot of characters and matchups that I can make. Some brackets that I'd like to see, like Kevin Nash versus Diesel and stuff like that, and Razor Ramon versus Scott Hall.
Heck yeah. Let's take a look at some of the other KoPWs that we've done, if it will let me. So let's take a look at last year's. Yeah, last year I had 64 participants. I did not keep track of it, but last year it was Kevin Nash that won. We had matches like Big Dan versus Hulk Hogan. Oh, this is when we incorporated the Kaw people. Never mind, this was after the DLC because Terry Funk's here.
I see Goldfish was in there.
Yeah, Goldfish Steve Boston. Oh, Shell, yeah. CM Punk and Zeus. Yeah, this was the DLC one. That one wasn't bad. Let me see here. I didn't keep track of this one very well either. Oh, this was all the
VTech, Zach Zero.
yeah, this was another Kaw
Firestar?
one. That's when I incorporated
Wow.
the created wrestlers too. Here we go. The very first King of Pro Wrestling. I just want you guys to know that Samoa Joe beat Eddie Guerrero in the first one. Just so everybody knows where Samoa Joe goes on my list. Brock Lesnar would beat Samoa Joe. I wonder if it'd show me the full bracket. Show me the top 8. So it came down to this. The very first KoPW, the final was Kevin Nash, Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre would pick up the win that night. But then Kevin Nash won last year. So they're 1-1 apiece. And that was the finals last year, too. Drew McIntyre and Kevin Nash. And look who they beat to get there in the final 8. All right, Drew McIntyre beat Chris Storm and beat Edge. Kevin Nash had beat Keith Lee and Kane in the same night. Because when we get to the final 8, we do them in the same night. He beat Keith Lee and Kane in the same night. Okay, Kane had beat Big E, and that was it. Edge beat Justin Blackwood. Who'd he ever beat? It was a great time. I remember calling that tournament. That tournament was fun. That tournament was beautiful.
Speaking of calling the king of pro wrestling, I'm very excited that you asked me to call the matches with you.
Oh, you're fine. Yeah, I'm very thankful that you're going to do it. The second KoPW winner was Edge, beating Stone Cold in the finals that year. And I actually incorporated not DLC, but downloaded people I picked up too, because I remember bringing in Hiroshi Tanahashi. And the final 8, Stone Cold beating Shawn Michaels and Dolph Ziggler to get to the finals. And Edge had beat Tanahashi and Hollywood Hulk Hogan. Kane is a top 8 guy. Kane was in the top 8 yet again.
So who's your dark horse this year?
Well, let's go take a look at the bracket again. Let's take a look and see. Like somebody you wouldn't expect to win. But
Well, you've already been talking about Logan Paul.
Logan Paul could be the dark horse. That or Dominic Mysterio.
I can see Austin Theory pulling like a third round.
Austin Theory, Bronson Reed. It'd be crazy to see how far the women make it, because a lot of people are like, "Oh, the women with the men this year, how's that gonna go?" I like to see Rhea Ripley get a little headway in the tournament, like girls like Rhea Ripley, Stephanie Vaquer, Chelsea Green.
What are you thinking of the Triple H versus Gunther match?
That match is going to do things to my body that has not been done in a very long time.
And Umaga versus Super Cena?
Umaga and Super Cena is going to be absolutely golden. All right, I'm just waiting. I'm waiting to see how good Umaga looks this year. I've seen like some clips and stuff, but I'm waiting until I play the game to be able to be like, dude, Umaga looks fantastic.
Kevin Owens versus Solo Sikoa is going to be bloody.
Kevin Owens, Solo Sikoa, the winner meets the winner of Michelle McCool and Baron Corbin. Kevin Owens might have an easy ride into the first couple of rounds if he plays his cards right.
Right. So do you think like Diesel and Chelsea Green could end up with Chelsea Green winning?
Diesel and Chelsea Green. No, listen, Kevin Nash has been a predominant man in the KoPW, all right? And the way that I do there's also a thing that there's sliders to make the game more realistic. And I mess with those a lot, because I make the game as realistic as possible. And I turn the difficulty up to legendary and let the CPUs fight it out.
Wow.
So, like, these matches, prepare to be calling some for a while, because these matches can go 20, 30 minutes. Like, this is, like, full-on, like, clear schedule for a while. This is our G1. All right? This is the biggest tournament ever.
So,
this is
what are you
big.
looking at? What time are you looking at starting?
Yeah, but that's not gonna matter. Like they can watch it and watch me call it too. I'm not really worried about that. It'll probably be like around lunchtime, so the kids are eating and like I got a little bit of free time, and we'll probably go about 2.5 hours. Get some headway going. So how I do it is I do the first match, I do the last match, then I just start picking matches in between that I want to call, until I just start getting to where I'm starting to get a rhythm for the show. Like, so the first match of the night, little spoiler alert, ladies and gentlemen, the first match will be... Trish Stratus versus Andrade. And then the second match of the night will be Akira Tozawa versus Rosie. poor Tozawa, and then we'll go from there. Logan Paul and Alundra Blaze. Logan Paul's the only man in that four person slot for the second round. And then he potentially has to deal with either Jey Uso, Jim Neidhart, Rosie, or Akira Tozawa.
I'm interested to see how far Hogan goes.
Listen, we talk about predominant people in the KoPW, and someone that's called every single one of these thus far, and every tournament I've done, as much as I don't like to say it, Hulk Hogan is a predominant, consistent, at least Sweet 16, top 8 competitor. So I see Hogan being consistent yet again and making it at least to the Sweet 16. But it's a stacked field this time. A lot of superstars in this because we got guys like CM Punk still in the tournament. We got guys like Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, The Rock. You know, this tournament is not for no slouch. Yes, we have El Mago Jr. versus the Hurricane. That's going to be impressive. Yes, we have Cora Jade versus Indy Hartwell. That's going to be some women wrestling. Sami Zayn and Charlotte. But, like, we also have matches like Kurt Angle, Cole Quinn, Haku Lexus King. Like, they're going to burn the house down. Do not sleep on El Ordinario, okay? That man has potential to be the most ordinary world champion you've ever seen.
I'm just thinking of the matchups like the El Ordinario versus Kevin Nash ending up with, Kevin Nash versus Doink,
Or Kevin Nash versus the Ruler.
Yeah, exactly.
El Ordinario versus Sami Zayn would be barn burning. Tama Tonga versus Bull Nakano, DDP Tyler Breeze. a lot of big time matches in the first round. I mean, not a whole lot of groundbreaking matches maybe, but this is a pretty stacked field. And it's a toss up of who could win. Yes, you can look at ratings, and yes, maybe ratings do matter to a point, but I've called 5 of these mega tournaments, and I can tell you, listen, not always is it the highest rating wins, because Kevin Nash did not have the highest rating. Edge did not have the highest rating. Yes, this is the first year that Edge has not been in it, but, does that play a factor that maybe we have a different winner this year? Drew McIntyre is still here. Drew McIntyre's been a consistent winner. He was the first ever winner. Kevin Nash won last year. And it was Drew McIntyre and Kevin Nash in the finals again. And listen, like, I was keeping it up on a different website that I no longer have. Unfortunate. And also, these are not just normal matches that will be happening. We're throwing match types into this. This is a extreme KoPW. All right, there will
So it could be a cage match. It could be a
cage
ladder match.
Ladder, Hell in a Cell, underground match, tribal combat. It could be unsanctioned. It could be first blood, last man standing. It goes on and goes on. But also this year we have another tournament that we're going to be doing, and that we're also going to do some bracketology for. You've seen the singles KoPW, but this year we're also doing the battle of the greatest tag teams of all time.
Okay, so that one interests me because I love tag team wrestling. So I want to see, like, that's something I'm looking forward to calling. Not that I'm not looking forward to calling the singles matches. I'm definitely looking forward to that. But I love tag team wrestling, and the tag team, the tag team bracket is going to be interesting to see the tag teams you come up with.
Yeah. Like, I think I've done the KoPW tag team thing one time, and it was pretty stacked. I want to say the first time we ever done it, the team that won, I didn't do it right that year. I incorporated downloadable content and stuff like that, so I created FTR, and I think FTR went all the way, if I remember correctly. But this year it will just be what the roster allows. I want to see how much content I can get out of just the main I say main roster, but like this is also incorporating DLC and shit too. But it's going to be what the game allows, like the tag teams that are available, just dry game, like just main roster game, like gameplay. Like I'm really looking forward to making the Rock and Sock connection. Uh,
Harlem
the
Heat.
the Soul Eaters of the Rock and John Cena. Um, Evolution, because we got Batista, we got Triple H, we got Randy. We didn't get Ric Flair this year. No Flair. No Flair for the
No
first
Flair?
time. No Flair. I didn't hear you say Ric Flair.
No, you didn't.
No Ric Flair. Uh, there's a lot of cool things that I'm gonna do. I was gonna separate the men and women, but because they allowed intergender, why not throw them all together and let's see who the best of the best of the best is? KoPW.
I'm looking at this Cedric Alexander versus Chad Gable, and I'm thinking that's going to be a good first rounder.
That match might be one of the best. And look, don't sleep on Elton Prince. He pulls British Bulldog in the first round. Don't sleep on no Elton Prince, okay? Elton Prince could burn it down. All right. Then you got some real wrestling going on between Charlie Dempsey and Natalia. That match is going to be good. Montez Ford and Hulk Hogan. Listen, that match could go both ways. All right. That match is going to be the battle of power versus speed. All right. Can Montez outlast Hogan, and can Hogan keep Montez grounded?
I like the Jey Uso versus Jim Neidhart up there.
That match is going to be a throwback to when the Head Shrinkers met the Hart Foundation, but it's the newer generation versus the older. It is the battle. It is when generations collide.
Logan Paul versus Alundra Blaze. I mean, that's gonna definitely burn the house down.
I'm really looking forward to Umaga and Super Cena. Just has me going. And the final boss, The Rock versus The Fiend. Nia Jax, Rick Steiner, Rob Van Dam, and Braun Strowman. I didn't even see that match. Rob Van Dam and Braun Strowman is equivalent to Big Show and RVD. That match is going to be really good. Ilya Dragunov and Shinsuke Nakamura.
That is the Ilya Dragunov versus Shinsuke Nakamura is something that I literally can't wait to call that one.
I'm very excited for this. The KoPW has been very good every time I've ever called it. Yes, some people may be let down that I'm not going to put in downloadable content because, yes, I could have pulled a Kenny Omega in. I could have pulled a John Moxley. But listen, this is about 2K. This isn't about, downloadable content. This isn't about the island. This isn't about anything like that. This is about letting everyone see what 2K can give us content-wise. Because, again, it's not just normal singles matches. We're going to throw in special matches. We're going to throw in, special things. And, it's single elimination. Every match matters, all right? Yes, half these guys are not going to make it out of the second round. That sucks for them. And I'm sorry that I don't get to see more of them compete throughout this tournament. Like, it could be the first time I see Razor Ramon this whole tournament. But whatever. I don't think that's how it's going to be. I think Razor's going to pull ahead of Omos. But you look at all the 256 people. If you had to pick one winner to take it all home, who's taking the KoPW?
Well, I think with Drew McIntyre and Kevin Nash being the predominant winners, I'm thinking that, we're looking at like a final of like a Cody Rhodes or a CM Punk or a Kevin Nash, and I'm thinking that Drew McIntyre. I'm thinking the final eight's gonna look pretty stacked with like people that. But again, you can't sleep on some of these people. Like LA Knight may make it into the final eight. You never know.
I would like to see LA Knight get that far. LA Knight made it pretty far in the last KoPW that he was in because he was in the last game. I want to say he made it to the Sweet 16 and then he was eliminated, but he fought Randy Orton and caught the RKO of a lifetime. So, if I had to pick one, I think I'm gonna go with a dark horse, and I say dark horse, and yeah, I guess ratings matter, and maybe I'm a mark, but I'm gonna go LA Knight or CM Punk and maybe Cody Rhodes.
I'm thinking Kurt Angle's gonna make it pretty far, but I'm going for like a CM Punk. I'm going with you on CM Punk. It's gonna make it probably into the final 8. I'm thinking Kurt Angle's gonna make it probably into the Sweet 16, possibly into the 8. I'm thinking Drew McIntyre's gonna take it pretty far.
And listen, the cool thing about this being on 2K is we don't see the same version of some of these people the whole time. Because we may see Hollywood Hogan in the first round, and he might decide to don the red and yellow in the second if he makes it that far. We might see CM Punk put on a mask in the third round. Who knows? We might see that. The things I will say, you are seeing all 3 faces of Foley. You are going to see Bray and The Fiend separate. Uncle Howdy's in the tournament. Dusty Rhodes, baby. He's in the tournament. Seth Rollins is here. Becky Lynch is in the tournament. It is a stacked field. Batista is in the tournament.
I just want to say the other thing is, like, I'm looking at the bracket and I'm thinking to myself, the woman that could move the chamber, the elimination chamber by herself, Jade Cargill, is in this match.
Jade Cargill is in this tournament, yeah. She's here. That could be a big, and this is, I think, it's her second appearance in the game, I think, but this is her first appearance in a KoPW. A lot of these people are going to be in the KoPW for the first time, like Afa and Sika, Nia Jax, Rick Steiner. They're all here for the first time. And Braun Breaker could go really far. Braun Breaker's here. So I'm really excited.
I see Ron Simmons getting, I don't know if he can get past Damian Priest, though.
Yeah, it's going to be a good fight to see Sandman and Alex Shelley. That's going to be an awkward one. It's going to be wild. But tune in Saturday night as we begin the KoPW, the road to the world title. Thank you all for tuning in. This has been your first episode of Bracketology. We will see you Saturday night for the episode 1 of the King of Pro Wrestling 256 wrestler single elimination tournament for the World Heavyweight title.
Don't miss it.